Good morning, Scottie Hughes here. It's been a while since we've chat. I am down in sunny South Florida. No, President Trump is not here yet. He's coming on Friday back down to what he calls the White House South, aka Mar-a-Lago, or Southern Command is what Rush Limbaugh, I think, calls it. And I woke up this morning to the headlines. I know you saw it last night. I saw it. Senator Jeff Sessions, now our Attorney General, is the target of a campaign by the Democrats and even possibly some on the right. I know that's shocking for you. To once again, that he should resign because he did not disclose that he met with the Russian ambassador 2 or 3 times in passing. Once again, Russia. Russia being made out to be demonized. And that's going to be the tie here. And I don't think the liberals or even the Republicans like John McCain and Lindsey Graham have realized Russia is not the threat. Russia is not exactly who we need to be making out to be the enemy right now. The enemy right now are people who want to kill us, which are Islamic jihadist terrorists. That's the enemy. But yet, once again, the liberals, after a very successful State of the Union speech, have decided they're going to start targeting not Mr. President Trump himself, but those around him. And Senator Jeff Sessions, who was one of the most loyal supporters of President Trump from the beginning, they're now going to look at him. Now, here is the story. The story is the fact that while Jeff Sessions was senator, he met the ambassador of Russia 2 or 3 times casually in passing. He also met 10 to 12 to 15 other ambassadors of countries because that's what senators do, especially when they're on the Foreign Relations Committee. This could have been at a party. This could have been just a casual conversation at the grocery store. We don't know the details. However, when he was asked under oath, have you run into, have you ever had correspondence with the Russian government? He did not disclose that he had run into the Russian ambassador. I get it. There might be some issues there. But is it enough for a man to resign? And what were these conversations about? I love that the hypocrisy of the liberal left, they don't know what was discussed. And if there was government issues discussed that possibly could lead to some sort of security risk, yeah, sure, then let's go into it. But we don't know. They could have been talking about what they were getting their grandchildren for Christmas. We don't know the details. And yet liberals like Nancy Pelosi are so quick to jump on and say that Attorney General Jeff Sessions should resign. Once again, another black eye. This just shows how panicking the liberals are. And you know why I think that sent them into this panic mode? Is because they saw how great President Trump did at what the joint session, that joint address that President Trump did on Tuesday night. I think that scared them. I think they woke up as Democrats in pure panic mode. Those sweet, innocent snowflakes, which, by the way, congratulations. I'm glad to see that the Democratic women are embracing the snowflake mantra and dressing in white. But I think they woke up going, oh my goodness, that speech that President Trump gave was not a Republican speech. It was not a Democrat speech. It was an American speech. He actually focused on the issues that unite all the parties. And unification, this just shows who the real enemy of the Democratic Party is. It's unity. They don't want our country to be divided. They don't want our people to be together. No, they want us to be divided because as long as we're divided, they win. And that speech that you heard that focused on patriotism, that focused on jobs, that focused on our families, security, and education, that is a message of unity that across the board, it doesn't matter what political party you belong to, that is something that as an American, we should want for ourselves. And that scares the Democrat. So, of course, we wake up Wednesday morning to a witch hunt starting. And that we saw what happened with General Michael Flynn, and I know we didn't get to talk about that much, but I was absolutely disappointed in what went down with General Flynn. General Flynn is a good man. I've met him several times. He is a good man. And to have this sort of lynch mob go after him. And I don't even know necessarily, and I don't know the details of President Trump himself asked for his resignation or the details on it. But I agree, yes, he should have disclosed to the vice president conversations. But once again, this is all about Russia. I'm sorry, do I need to go back through right now and try to figure out every time that I've even, had a shot of vodka, which by the way I haven't, or anything that ties to Russia? Is that what the liberal press is going to do? Is that what they're going to target, any sort of ties to Russia? I hate to tell you, here's the ultimate hypocrisy of it. They're going to go after members of the Trump administration for having casual conversations that, are not even worth, memory, where no national security issues are discussed. And yet we have no idea about the 30,000 emails that were in the Hillary Clinton private server. We have a president that had conversations, and all of his administration and staff that had conversations and gun running that went down back and forth across our southern border, where we found that we gave guns to guns down there to kill drug cartels. We still don't know what all happened with Fast and Furious. We don't know all of the conversations that have happened in the Middle East with the Muslim Brotherhood and all of the, and ISIS that was created because of this president and their the last president and their conversations and their early withdrawal. So they're going to go after the Russians. They're going to go after good people like Jeff Sessions and honestly like General Mike Flynn. This is sad. And last night as I watched the, I'm not going to lie, little clips of the CNN debate or the CNN town hall with Lindsey Graham and John McCain. Imagine that, those two over there doing a town hall. They didn't help. And they're not going to continue to help. They're always going to find some way to run, to put the dagger in the heart of this administration. And what they don't realize, they're putting the dagger in the heart of millions of American people and the American family. Even if they didn't vote for President Trump, President Trump has said time and time again, I still represent you. I'm still going to fight for you. And when the devil is within your own party causing the fight, where you're spending your time and effort fighting your own party and fighting those that are supposed to be helping your administration, then fighting the enemy, then sometimes you might be too tired to actually fight who the real enemy is. It's very scary. It's very timely. But unfortunately, I fear this is going to continue because, once again, it's this whole Russian mantra. And let me just point out with Russia that most of the younger generation, remember, it's been, 20, 30, it was 1986, 84, when when Russia was over, we didn't have communism. We didn't have to deal with the threat of communism. I agree. My parents' generation had to deal with it. I have not necessarily known Russia to be a major threat. What I have known to be a threat are people that are severing journalists' heads off over in the Middle East, that are burning cages of soldiers alive, people that are whipping women for Sharia law because they didn't, get the right water, or they had their hair uncovered. For whatever, that's who I've grown up. My generation, I think those that are there in their 40s and younger, that's what we see as the enemy. And yet the Democrats choose to fight the Russians, while meanwhile turning a blind eye to the real enemy that we have, not caring about Iran, sending millions of dollars of cash over their unmarked bills over there. There's no problem with that. But let's call out the Attorney General who during the campaign season as a senator on the Foreign Relations had a casual in passing conversation once or twice or 3 or 4 times with the ambassador. The hypocrisy is real, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. They've already claimed Monica Crowley, General Mike Flynn. I go down a whole list of folks that they're going after, and now they're going to target Attorney General Jeff Sessions, and they're targeting the conservative members of this administration. So this is going to be interesting to see play out. I pray that we keep. Attorney Jeff Sessions is an amazing man. It was hard to get him through, and now they're going to try to take him out once he's there. Stay tuned, and we will try to keep you up to date here with all of our great entities at eHeadlines, Right Alerts, Freedom Vine, and all of the great news outlets that we are working with.